begin, that they would definitely, whenever historians look back and have to write about World War III.
So yeah, the Pentagon was hit with the cruise missile, not an airplane. You have the controlled demolition on 9/11, internationally known as a controlled demolition, except for in the United States, where Americans are told the narrative, the official 9/11 story, that Osama bin Laden did it, that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed did it, right? But it was actually a joint effort with the U.S. and Israel to have an excuse to topple the Middle East and take over the region for Israel, the seven nations that General Wesley Clark talked about. So Iran is the last on the list of these seven nations, and this is just the beginning phase for Israel's plan to use the U.S. government to take over the world. Hey, they already took over America. Look, they took out JFK, right? And they're just inching their way, using the military to do their bidding, using Americans as war fodder, since Israelis view Americans as subhuman goy who are gullible. Well, hey, take over the world for us, subhuman goy. You can be our war fodder, guinea pig, right? And we'll control your military. That's what Israel's saying, right? We can take out your president. We can blackmail and bribe all of Congress and all of the Senate. And then you have the Epstein files, and then Trump is intimidated with the golden pager as a gift. Well, hey, DC is compromised by foreign power, right? So Trump's not supposed to attack Iran for Israel. That's 2381 treason, aiding the enemy. So I can fire Trump and Hegseth, but do you notice? No, Americans don't care about freedom of speech, neither does Israel. Americans don't know the First Amendment 12 years after America ended. Trump doesn't know the First Amendment. The Supreme Court doesn't know the First Amendment, right? You want to argue it's a private platform. Well, that's why it's privatized. You outsourced freedom of speech to a private platform that censors the public for Israel, right? It's bizarre. It's the Twilight Zone, right? Supposedly, America owns the app. No, right? It's being micromanaged by all these gatekeepers who are phony stooges on every TikTok live, trying to control the narrative all the time for damage control, because America actually ended 12 years ago in Cascadia, right? You have government actors that need to hide the truth from you now, right? Because they're hiding that America ended for a foreign power that doesn't want Americans to know that their country ended. Right, so all the journalists are phony. All the news is phony. It was nationalized, legalized propaganda since the Obama administration. So they're not going to tell you the truth in the news. They're gonna paint their own picture, and I will paint mine. Welcome to Amexa. It's a one nation continent, and I lead every military because why? Well, the majority actually wanted the smartest to lead 12 years ago, not the most popular candidate. So it doesn't matter who your popularity contest is for next. The midterms are irrelevant. Look, if everybody is dumber than I am, and it's been this way for 12 years, do you expect it to change just because somebody wants to be popular again as a celebrity narcissist? Has anyone actually learned from me the last 12 years? No, they have not. Right? So we're in bad shape since the idiocracy has avoidant personality disorder for their new government, since the smartest is the most ostracized by society. Although you want the smartest to lead, look, I'm the most ostracized for a reason. I tell you things you don't like to hear. Like your country ended 12 years ago, America. You don't like to hear that as a national narcissist. But what if this is a post nationalist society that we live in, and we have matured past nationalism to the authentic earth flag, right? None of these nations actually matter, right? Since nationalism itself is mental illness, it's irrational tribalism. Look, the world could end tomorrow because of nationalism. Do you want to have it? Right? What if one of these leaders pushes the button? Well, they all feel the need to after that, and it leads to mutually assured destruction. So you want to consolidate all this military leadership with the First World Army, with the person that you can trust the most, right? So I'm here to help. You guys need somebody you can trust to lead every military for the first time in history. And this has never been done before, right? So I'm going to say that nobody gets to attack another nation. The U.S. is no exception, right? You don't get to play God on the world stage just because you're the United States and you nuked somebody, right? That doesn't mean that you're the boss, America, just because you nuked Japan, all right? That means you're a Machiavellian, martial narcissist, right? You're obsessed with power and control as a psychopath, but psychopaths should not be leaders, right? That's Iron Mountain philosophy, the idea that might makes right. That was what the boomers had as their brainchild, I guess, for leadership. No, you don't get to rule by force. You don't get to rule the world by intimidating force, by intimidation, by subversion. All these Machiavellian tactics like Israel uses, exploding pagers as a terrorist nation. Okay? Look, you don't get to attack Lebanon. You don't get to attack Iran. America doesn't either. And no one's ever told the narcissist no before. No one's ever told America no, right? You think you have international law? Well, a psychopath doesn't care. America never cared about international law. It's America. It just does what it wants, right? But is that good for global stability? No. So every 8 years, the whole world's on the edge of their seat. Who's it going to be this time? Are they going to end the world? Are they going to topple half the world again? Right? I don't think the world wants to live that way. Right? It's not good for prosperity to have war, no matter who is trying to profit off of this. Right? You have military contractors who just want to sell their product, weapons and bombs, and they want wars to go forever. Should they have power, or would you rather have the smartest person have power? Look at my bank account versus the bank account of Lockheed Martin or something like this. Like, I can lead every military with $6 to my name. Do any of these national leaders know this? Right? The deep state wanted to make you believe that money was success. Now that just exposes you're not a generous person. That exposes your psychopathy, right? So the rich people aren't necessarily the good people, okay? And who gets the most money? The military. Well, what if the first guy to lead every military tells you only cowards fight with lethal weapons and bombs? I'm going to fire your national leader for attacking other nations now. Because I essentially lead the people of Earth, right? If I don't lead every military, I lead the people of Earth, okay? Are you going to continue to attack other nations when you're not supposed to? Your own people will rebel against your leader, your phony leader now, right? So none of these boomers get to call the shots. Nobody older than me personally gets to call the shots when it comes to military worldwide. Look, you don't get to attack other nations. I'm going to fire your leader. I'm going to ask them to resign. I fired Donald Trump for 2381 treason, aiding the enemy. Did you notice? Write this down, History Channel. Somebody fired the president and the secretary of war for misbehaving on the world stage, with the First World Army